to all the teachers, and everyone knows that, I'm sure. We're going to limit the responses to 30 seconds, okay? It's kind of like getting up to a lightning round. So the first question we have here from our audience is, do you think the perception of crime in Newport News matches the reality? Why or why not? Go on. Take a shot. Go.
Thank you. I would say 30 seconds. Okay. I would say that a lot of it is perception. I actually had a meeting today and we talked about how the news and oftentimes the citizens are all, highlight the negatives in the city, but we really don't highlight the positives. So we have to really be able to go through the community and get an accurate percentage. If all we see is the bad, that's all we know. So I would say a lot of it is perception. That does not mean negatives aren't happening in the city. Of course they are. The question is, what can we do about it? How do we move forward? And I would like to answer.
You got it. That's fine. Okay. Next, who wants to go for the next guy?
I would say yes. It's reality. I stand 23607. I'm 34 years old. When I come in the house past 12 o'clock, I'm saying, Mom, open the front door. It's scary down there, We need to do more as public policy to make our communities much safer. But it starts with knowledge. It starts with programming. It starts with activities for our youth. That's what I start with. I think if we start from the bottom and give our children more options and opportunities, we'll have a safer community, as well as policing with working with the police department to make sure we're all safe. Thank you.
All right. Scott?
Yes, the crime is a real problem in the city of Newport News, but unfortunately, if you watch the electronic news media, the whole 30 minutes, the first 30 minutes is negative. So you hear more about the negative than the positives in the city of Newport News. But what I will be doing going forward is to institute more programs that change the mindsets of the people who are committing the crimes. They're between 16 and 24, they're called millennials. And we have to make sure that we reach them where they are, and if they don't have job skills and job sets, put them in another position so that they can be good citizens.
Ms. Penny, do you think the perception of crime in Newport News matches the reality? Why or why not?
I don't think so. I love the city and raising my kids and my grandchildren here. However, to say that it's not a problem is foolish, but I think that we can fix it. We as a community can put together community programming with the police department and trying to help get the crime off the street, because the police department can't do it on its own.
Amen. Sir, would you like to, Mr. Jenkins?
I believe that the perception of crime in Newport News is higher than the actual crime, but the actual crime is higher than it should be. If you look at our actual statistics for a city of this size, we should not have this crime rate. We need to work on finding ways to engage our young people. One of the outstanding programs we have is the STEP program. It's helping young people do things over the summer so that they don't end up hanging out with their friends, getting involved in trouble, and going down the wrong road.
Sir, would you like to?
Perception is reality. I mean, there is a lot of this perception in parts of Newport News is that there are these problem areas, and it is true, there are a lot of areas, but it doesn't really matter what the stats are. It matters what people feel and how the reaction is being taken by the city officials. For me, what I'd like to see is I'd like really a more community policing, have the police kind of get out in the neighborhoods. Also have, just really kind of start with the ground up with the education system. Improve the education system, you improve the students, you give them opportunities, activities, it keeps them busy, it keeps the crime down.
All right, to our mayoral candidates, I'd like to ask the same question. Do you think the perception of crime in Newport News matches the reality? Why or why not?
Well,
yes, sir, go ahead.
for the sake of time, yes, I would. And we're taking it a step further when you look at perception we're talking about. Let's look more of the reality part of it. When last year we had 91 shootings occur, 91 citizens that get shot. Out of that 91 citizens that got shot, 95% of those citizens look like me. So it's crime data that you see, and then you look at those areas that this crime is taking place more prevalent, we are decreasing recreational activities. We've made it harder for coaches, we've made it harder for mentors to have community support programs when the funding has been decreased in that as well. And that's part of my platform, is to make sure we ensure that our community programs are better funded so our activities can take place.
All right, so I think it is a reality. It just depends on who you ask. If you ask the right people, you'll find that in certain neighborhoods and certain areas, where there are no programs, there are no mentors, there are no resources available, you will find that crime is just a symptom of a lack of priority and a budget that doesn't reflect the needs of the people. And so it depends on who you ask and where you ask it. But I believe that we can turn that around. I'm a product of turning it around, and I know that there are programs out there that can be used to actually make our communities much, much better, much safer, and we're not doing that today. It's just a reflection of bad decisions.
Perception is reality because it impacts our economy. Nobody's going to want to move here if they hear there's a lot of crime. Nobody's going to want to go to your business if they think it's a crime spot. So perception is a reality. It's something we have to address. We have to engage our youth early to get them off of the path of getting into crime. And we got to have programs and leadership, moral leadership, leading the way to do that.
Mr. Anthony, we missed him.
Oh, go, yes, please. Go, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. The perception definitely outweighs the actualization of where the crime is in the city. However, again, like everyone has stated, perception is reality. But as far as what can we do, we have to empower the people that live in these neighborhoods to take more ownership of the neighborhood and lead the initiative of seeing the change that they want to see. Because I live in Courthouse Green. A lot of time, it's crime on crime. So a lot of folks will say, you know, Courthouse is a bad area to live in, but it's the outside entities or the outside folks that are saying these things. So it's, all right.
Yes, young lady. Yes.
Yes, although perception is reality, I don't feel like the perception of crime is the reality in my South District. The reality is we don't have access. And when I say access, we don't have access to healthy, fresh foods because we're currently in a food desert with no grocery store. We don't have access to fully funded programming for our youth to be involved in after school, before school, or whenever there's downtime. We don't have any amenities. We need more programs in public spaces for our young people to be engaged in more so. And also we need a healthy environment. We currently live in one of the most toxic zip codes, 23607.
Okay.